Tonight on Sports Desk, our Inside Pitch crew breaks down the Canes' rivalry weekend series against Florida State, and reporter Erica Orstad is live at the light.
That's right, Simon, and while basketball season may be over, one Hurricane baller has a big announcement about her future.
That's right, and our own Skylar Sand sits down with hurdler Tiara McMinn after her huge showing at last week's outdoor event.
All that and more, Sports Desk starts right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm Grace Smith.
And I'm Simon Lehrer. Grace, there is nothing like a good rivalry, and that's what we've got on campus this weekend with the Seminoles in town.
That's right, Simon. Florida State and Miami are kicking off their rivalry weekend right now over at Marklight Field.
Canes need to bounce back after another tough week. Let's see how Miami looked in their midweek matchup against FAU. Getting it started over at the light, second inning, and that's Miami already on the board. It's Gabe Rivera with a long shot to left field. That's his first career home run as a Hurricane. Unforgettable moment for the young outfielder. Slade Ciccone had it going early for the Canes. Nice punch out there in the fourth inning, but he would run into some trouble to start the fifth. That's FAU third baseman Joe Montes singling up the middle, and the Owls weren't done yet. Three-hole hitter now comes through. That's Francisco Urbaez dropping this one into right. Two more runs come across, and what looked like a great start on the mound for Ciccone turns out to be one of the righty's worst outings of the year on the bump. Canes trailed 5-1 after FAU's big inning, but they do get one back in the bottom of the fifth. Gabe Rivera coming in to score on Tony Jenkins' ground out, but some much-needed insurance puts this game out of reach. Now we head to the ninth. It's Gunnar Lambert with his second hit of the day. Tough luck for the Canes. This finds no man's land, and Miami falls to FAU 6-4 at the light. A rough start to the week for the Hurricanes. Well, Grace, Wednesday night sure was a struggle for the Canes.
Yeah, Simon, but now they have a chance to bounce back with Florida State coming into Coral Gables tonight. And our UMTV reporter Erica Orstad is actually live at the light right now. Erica, what's the energy like over there?
Guys, I'm here with the man, the myth, the wizard of college baseball himself, Ron Frazier. He was a legendary head coach here at the U, but little known fact, he actually played for FSU in the 1950s, and the Noles are here tonight to start off their three-game rivalry series versus the Canes, and these two teams are neck and neck, so this series is going to be very interesting to say the least. Canes might be in for a little bit of a challenge. FSU's head coach Mike Martin is the winningest head coach in NCAA D1 college baseball. And it's his final season, so the Canes are taking a little bit of time to recognize him for his pretty impressive 40-year career. Also here tonight, Manny Diaz throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. So a lot of really exciting things happening tonight. But earlier this week, the Canes lost to FAU. Damari said, you know, they have a good hitting game. Alex Terrell tied for first in the ACC for runs. He's got 12 this season. But they're struggling a little bit on the pitching side of things. Now, Max Strink and Charlotte Payne are here to discuss this and other keys to the game in this week's Inside Pitch. Guys?
Thanks, Erica. And now it's time for Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Charlotte Payne, here with analyst Max Strink. Taking a look back to the beginning of the season, Max, we spoke a lot on pitching rotation. And now we're starting to see a shift into a team that's relying heavily on hitting, like with Alex Terrell.
Yeah, Alex Terrell, Raymond Gill, all these guys have been big factors when it comes to the season so far. And it hasn't been like the pitching hasn't been there. At the start of the year, the pitching was there. But as Erica said, it's been transitioning over more into the hitting side, and the hitters have been absolutely perfect. Pretty much they're leading the ACC right now in average, and that's been huge for this team. That's the way they've been winning games, and that's going to be huge going into future series. But pretty much the pitching staff needs to come back in and be strong, because otherwise it's not going to be going well going into Omaha and facing opponents like Florida State tonight.
Yeah, they're here tonight in Coral Gables for a weekend matchup against the Canes. And Max, this is one of the biggest rivalries in college sports history.
Yeah, Charlotte, it's so huge, and it's going to be so awesome to see all these fans coming into Marklight Field. It's going to be just amazing when it comes to that end. But besides that, the other factors that come into it are that FSU and Miami are pretty much in the same boat right now. They have been struggling in ACC play, and there's just been so many similarities when it comes down to these two teams. This could be the make or break to make it into a postseason push for both teams. Otherwise, it could be the faltering point of the season.
Right, this could be the faltering point, but what are the keys to winning this series?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that you have to take into account between both squads, but the biggest thing that Miami can truly control is the errors defensively. They have struggled throughout the entire year, and especially last series, 5 errors against Pitt. They're known as one of the worst defensive teams in the ACC right now, and they really need to pick it up, because if not, Florida State will just eat up those errors and score off of that. Also, speaking of Florida State, they lead the ACC in both walks and on-base percentage, so they know how to get their way on base. Hurricanes pitching cannot let an early advantage in the count to these FSU batters, because they will also eat that up and get on base, and that's how they score runs. They score runs off of small ball. And finally, one of the bigger things that this Hurricanes team really has to hone down on is the power early. That's something that they did against FAU last week that didn't show up this week. 3 home runs in that first inning off of FAU, and that set the tone for the rest of the game. The Hurricanes won 16-6, and then going into this week against FAU, it just wasn't there. The Hurricanes didn't have that power consistently. FAU had those 5 runs in the 5th inning, and from that point, Miami just couldn't come back. They need that power going on early, especially tonight, and if they can get that power, especially from Alex Terrell, that could really set the tone throughout the entire series. And I'm taking the Hurricanes with home field advantage, beating FSU 2-1 in the series.
And we spoke a lot about Alex Terrell. Our reporter David Perez actually got the chance to sit down and talk with him about his comeback this season.
Alex Terrell is off to a hot start in the middle of Miami's lineup, but his success has come off the back of struggles after falling short of expectations in 2018.
Just put a lot of pressure on myself coming into college, expected too much out of myself. It was the first time I experienced struggle in my life.
And after hitting below 200 as a freshman, Terrell changed his approach and got to work in the offseason.
Over the summer, I was lucky enough to get, a bunch of at-bats. I kind of found the position for my hands that I needed them to be in, a new stance.
He's a relentless kid. He's going to go after it, and he's going to keep working until he gets the result he wants.
I mean, I've been there with him since we were 12, 13 years old. I mean, he's hitting extra in the cage after practice. He puts in the work.
It's tough when you're a freshman and there's so much hype around you and you're not doing good, but I think he's done a great job bouncing back.
Terrell has more home runs this season than he had extra base hits all of last year, which means his hard work at the ballpark, seeing this thing in the cages, has paid off.
Going through all that made me realize, you know what, you got to take every day, as a new day. Just feel like all that hard work really changed my whole approach to going into a game, stepping in the batter's box and just getting things done.
And as Miami sits at the halfway point of 2019, Terrell will have to continue bringing power to Miami's lineup and help push the Canes towards their first NCAA tournament appearance in 2 years. For UMTV, I'm David Perez reporting.
Coming up, Miami is used to having the transfer portal work in their favor. For one team, it's not. We'll tell you about a couple lineup changes you'll see on the hardwood next season.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase.
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Men's basketball redshirt freshman guard Anthony Mack has announced he's leaving the program. Mack made the announcement Wednesday on Twitter, saying he has entered the transfer portal. He leaves after transferring from Wyoming just last year. Mack averaged 2.6 points and had a 27 three-point scoring percentage.
The Canes women's basketball team will be without star forward Amasa Hoff next season, but another star will leave the program as well. Redshirt junior Laura Cornelius has decided to forego her final year of eligibility to play professional basketball. The two-time captain made the announcement on Thursday through social media, saying, quote, "I put my heart and soul into this program and will forever be grateful for the opportunity to play for the U and be a part of the Canes family," end quote. Cornelius leaves after her best season with career highs in points, assists, and rebounds. And besides Cornelius, Canes women's basketball received some good news this week, as forward Beatrice Montpremier was named an Associated Press All-American Honorable Mention. She becomes the first Hurricane to earn this AP recognition since 2011. And as for Canes men's basketball, Anthony Lawrence will be playing in the 2019 Dos Equis 3x3U National Championship. The championship gives graduating seniors a chance for a $100,000 prize, and Lawrence is part of a four-player team made up of all ACC All-Star seniors from Pitt and Clemson.
Every year, fans fill out their NCAA tournament brackets hoping to get the first ever perfect bracket. But what are the odds it could actually happen? Let's take a look. March Madness isn't called that for nothing. The NCAA college basketball tournament is known for buzzer beaters, nail-biting games, and upsets, all of which can really mess up a bracket. Many chase after the perfect bracket, but unfortunately, the numbers are against them. The chances of getting the perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
More than 100 billion. more than trillions. It's the next thing up. It's I guess, let's see what it would be, six more zeros past a trillion, something like that.
I spoke with Professor Chris Cosner at the Department of Mathematics about the probability behind brackets.
Because even a modest amount of error in picking really propagates if you're going to do something 63 times, right? Those two things working together make it very difficult to get a highly accurate bracket.
Some pick based on jersey color or mascot, though most students I spoke to stick to what they see on the court.
I watch a lot of college basketball, so I pretty much pick it based on the teams that I've been watching and how they've been playing.
It's pretty stats-based. I'd say I watch during the regular season and then try and pick from that.
If you're pretty good at knowing who's going to win, then it gets into the realm of just being unlikely. Okay, it gets to be like hitting lottery or something.
The odds improve with knowledge of the teams, but it's still a long shot.
You're down to something like maybe a chance in 300 million.
But it seems to most participants that the odds don't deter them at all.
What keeps me doing it? I think it makes it fun to watch.
And will you do another bracket next year?
100%.
For UMTV, I am Grace Smith.
We've got a live update on the Miami men's and women's tennis matches. The men's team defeated Virginia Tech 4-3 this afternoon. A sophomore Boyan Jankulovsky and redshirt junior Dane Dunlap won their matches in straight sets to give the Canes the victory. And in Chestnut Hill, the women's tennis team lost a close match with Boston College 4-3. Last weekend was historic for head coach Paige Yaroshuk-Tuz, and we'll tell you which milestone she hit after the break. But first, it's time for some trivia. Rivalry weekend is underway over at Marklight Field with FSU in town, and Miami is looking for another series win. But when was the last time the Hurricanes won a series at home against FSU? Was it A, 2013, B, 2011, C, 2009, or D, 2007? We'll be right back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
So what do you guys think of the new Jets uniforms?
They're so plain. I can't decide if I like them or hate them. I feel nothing.
A lot of room for improvement. They had a lot of big blown opportunity right there.
I don't really like them. I don't know what I'm. Nah.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back. If you guessed C, you are correct. The Hurricanes beat the Seminoles 2-1 back in 2009 in Coral Gables. Miami was blown out 14-4 in the opening game of the series, but they shook off that loss and won the next 2 games over FSU.
Men's tennis is also ranked number 24th in the nation, marking the first time in a decade the team has broken into the top 25. The Hurricanes are currently undefeated at home and hope to keep the streak going this weekend. Hurricanes tennis star Davinia Achong has added more honors to her resume. The freshman from the Netherlands received her 2nd ACC Player of the Week and her 3rd ACC Freshman of the Week for her play against Clemson and Wake Forest.
Well, we've heard about the stars on the court for Hurricanes tennis. Now it's time to take a look at the driving force behind Miami's continued success on the court.
That's right, Simon. UMTV reporter Sharon Dunquall got an up-close look at head tennis coach Paige Yaroshuktus, and how she fuels the Hurricanes on the court.
For more than 15 years, Paige Yaroshuktus has been the head coach of the University of Miami's women's tennis team, leading them to the celebration of many victories, including this year's win over Wake Forest. But at the end of the match, she was the one being celebrated.
I mean, my first reaction was just like, wow, you know, at that point when our sports information had told me. I thought back to 300 because I remembered, I knew where I was when I hit 300. And, you know, 50 more matches and, you know, another couple seasons. But yeah, my first reaction was just kind of like, wow, that's a big number.
This milestone came as a bit of a surprise to Paige, but to those around her, it couldn't come fast enough.
It's not a surprise, I guess, and I think that's why also just knowing her for so long, I get what she's about. I mean, it's honesty and respect and just doing the best you can every day. Truly what she asked as a player is pretty much what you get when you work with her.
To Paige, records aren't what it's about. Her focus is locked in on building the program and creating exceptional athletes.
At the end of the day, it's a number, and you know, it's not about me, it's about the girls and it's about their experience.
I'm really proud of her, I'm really happy for her, but I don't think she needs this for us to know how good she is. She knows what she's talking about. She's probably going to work hard to get many more wins in the books, and she's probably going to do it.
The season's still not over for the Canes, and Paige plans to add many more victories to the record books. Reporting from UMTV, I'm Sharon Dankwa.
Freshman Thomas Burns ran his way into Miami's record books by breaking the school's 400-meter hurdle record last Saturday. Burns' 50.62 second time is also the fastest in the ACC and the 2nd fastest in the NCAA.
Fellow hurdler Tiara McMinn has been making a name for herself this season, racking up trophies all year long. Our own Skylar Sands had a chance to catch up with her and learn the secret to her success both on and off the track.
One hurdler has her sights set high for this upcoming season.
Definitely want to be an All-American. Definitely striving to do better in NCAAs outdoors. Right now, I'm also an asset in the 4x1, so see me in that too.
Tiara McMinn credits much of her success to the help of her favorite head coach.
We have a really good relationship. I can go to her and talk about anything.
And the feelings from Coach Amy Deem are mutual.
I love Tiara. You know, I love all my kids, but Tiara's, she's actually really a fun kid to be around and to coach. She's very determined.
Already winning at multiple meets this year, Tiara knows what she needs to maintain her success.
She's a fierce competitor and she really wants to be good. So for me, it's just really channeling my energy to help, you know, give her the confidence that she needs to perform at the level I know she can compete at.
Tiara McMinn understands that the relationships she has formed here at UM are crucial to her success. To remain successful on the track, she knows that the people around her must continue to stay supportive.
Like without them, I wouldn't have more so of the confidence, believing in my abilities.
It's fun watching her grow and become more confident and just become a better hurdler. You know, she can compete with anybody. You know, she's just going to continue to grow.
Where most see a hurdle, Tiara sees an opportunity. Skylar Sands, UMTV Sports Desk.
Still to come, we find out what's going on over at the Light as rivalry weekend is going down right now for Canes baseball. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Coming up this weekend in Hurricane Athletics, Canes baseball continues their 3-game series against the Florida State Seminoles. First pitch is scheduled for 7 p.m. on Saturday night and 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Over to the courts, the Miami men's tennis team will continue their homestand against the University of Virginia on Sunday. The Canes ended their losing streak tonight against Virginia Tech, and they will look to keep the ball rolling against the Cavaliers.
Speaking of baseball, reporter Erica Orstad is here to give us an update on how it's going over there at Marklight Field. She's been there all day. Erica, it's a big day today. It seems like a great crowd. How's it looking over there?
Guys, we're in full swing here at the Light. I've got my milkshake. You can see the milkshake line is long behind me. It looks like it'll take you a while to get a milkshake, so if you want one, you should come now because you're not going to get one if you wait any longer. But so we're in the bottom of the second. It's still 0-0, but the Canes are looking a little bit better on the pitching side, already with a strikeout. And speaking of strikeouts, check out these cool shirts that we've got. Cat 5 is giving these away to students tonight, so if you want one, students, come on down to the Light. They're giving those away. If you want any more updates, there are live updates on hurricanesports.com. Guys?
For the third time this offseason, Bengals running back and Hurricanes alum Mark Walton will face criminal charges. Walton allegedly ran from the cops after being pulled over for reckless driving. Officers attempted to tase him, but he pulled the prongs out and escaped. Upon searching his car, they found 14 grams of marijuana and a rifle.
With the NFL draft later this month, could it be another one full of surprising trades and risky picks? Well, Alex Manella is here to discuss why teams should focus on the rebuild and not the next best thing on this week's Manella's Moment.
The NFL draft is right around the corner, and the most talked about topic by far is Heisman winner Kyler Murray and where he will land. Rumors have been swirling since he declared for the draft, and the biggest rumor is that he's going to go #1 overall to the Arizona Cardinals. This is ridiculous, seeing that the Cardinals just spent the #10 overall pick last season on UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen. The sad fact of the situation is that Rosen could become the next forgotten NFL QB. The turnover rate among NFL quarterbacks is getting out of control, and franchises are quickly moving on from new quarterbacks if they don't produce the results general managers are looking for. Since 2013, 20 teams have new starting quarterbacks, and that's not even counting franchises like the Cleveland Browns, who have drafted and moved on from multiple starting quarterbacks in the last few years. Quarterbacks are now being forced into game action before they're ready, and if they don't win, they get kicked to the curb. Teams are no longer being patient and letting young quarterbacks develop behind a veteran starter. Look at how successful it was when Aaron Rodgers sat out his first 3 seasons. A most recent success story is Patrick Mahomes. He sat out his first year and became the league's MVP the next season. Teams need to relax with wanting to win now. They need to see the benefit of a rebuild paired with a developing young quarterback. If they can forfeit 2 to 3 years and let the process take place, A dynasty can be born, something that the Cardinals are completely ignoring with Rosen. He didn't have the best rookie season, but he seems to be in a similar situation to other quarterbacks that struggled in the rookie year. Jared Goff and Mitchell Trubisky both had forgettable rookie seasons, both got new head coaches, and both turned into Pro Bowlers the next year. The difference between them and Rosen has zero support from the Cardinals organization, continuing the trend of misusing quarterbacks in the NFL. If the Cardinals do select Kyler Murray #1 overall, a devastating new culture of wasting talent could take over the NFL. That's Manella's moment.
Well, that escalated quickly. In its inaugural season, the Alliance of American Football has suspended operations, leaving many in shock about the short-lived league. Our head-to-head crew debates why the AAF failed and whether or not there will be another alternative to the NFL soon. Guys?
Hello and welcome to Head to Head, where we get heated about the hottest topics in the world of sports. I'm Skylar Sands here with Justin Heyer, and today we're talking about the AAF. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've talked about the AAF once before, haven't we?
I believe we have.
Yeah, let's take a look at that clip.
The AAF is going to be a developmental league for players who didn't get a chance to have their shot in the NFL, players who deserve that chance, who've devoted their entire lives to football. And not only that, it'll be a breeding ground for some incredible things that can move over to the NFL, like no kickoffs, no overtime field goals. These rules can make a huge difference there.
That's a freezing cold take if I've ever heard one, buddy. I'm sorry. But all right, let's move on to today's question. So, do you ever think there will be another successful football league in the United States other than the NFL?
Yeah, freezing cold take, I don't think that's fair. There were some good points in there, namely the fact that a developmental league from a football standpoint makes sense. Did you see Garrett Gilbert, Trent Richardson, Charles Johnson? Did you see them play in the AAF? They were making strides. They were moving their careers forward. From a business perspective, was it totally messed up? Did they go the wrong avenue? Yes, but it made sense from a football perspective.
Meek Mill, dreams, these are the nightmares. There already is a successful league in the United States, and players can get an education out of it. It's called the NCAA.
Yeah, and how many NCAA players make it to the NFL? How many of them forward their pro careers?
No.
How many of them make progress in a football perspective?
It's putting them on a successful stage to have the opportunity and the experience.
Does it rake in money for the NCAA? Is it successful in that sense? Yes. Does it help the players? No. We saw that when it comes to the players, the AAF can help out, or not the AAF anymore, but a developmental league like the XFL that's coming in 2020. And have they been making moves from a business perspective that make more sense? Yes. Fewer investors with an aligned goal,
with the XFL,
more time
look
to
what
get the league
happened
going.
last time. The XFL crashed and burned even worse than the AAF.
Different perspective now. They have fewer investors, and they've taken more time to move it forward, and they've learned their lessons from failed leagues like the AAF and the formerly failed XFL. They're taking steps to make it work now.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. Back to you guys.
Well, it's almost NBA playoff time, and you know what that means. The Golden State Warriors are about to turn it on. The reigning back-to-back NBA champs are flipping the switch into postseason form, and we got a little preview of that show on Thursday night at the Staples Center. Lakers-Warriors halfway through the first quarter, already a blowout, but Steph Curry, what? Look at that pass. KD throws down the hammer, and I have to see this one again. Chef Curry, are you kidding me? He was cooking all night, and this pass was just a cherry on top of a sweet win, which puts the Warriors 2 games up in first place with 4 more to play. Sure looks like the Western Conference is running through Golden State yet again.
You may be used to seeing them next to the student section at Hurricanes games, but this past week, the Frost Band of the Hour played on a bigger stage. The band performs alongside Grizz, a DJ and producer, during his first ever set at Ultra. The world-famous electronic music festival was attended by more than 160,000 people, and the band took the stage to loud applause. Grizz was inspired to invite the band by his own experience in marching band. The 8-piece drumline and 13-member brass section finished his set with a 7-minute long finale.
Well, Grace, I would like to imagine that I'm getting the Ultra experience every time I'm at a Canes game now.
Speaking of, we should probably head over to the Light and see how that rivalry is playing out between Canes and FSU.
That's for sure. I'll be doing that. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in to Sports Desk. Have a good night. All right, let's all walk in. Please walk in.